The mistake. In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars glittered like diamonds against the black velvet of space, the Intergalactic Sports Academy stood as a beacon of opportunity and adventure. It was a sprawling complex filled with alien technology and species from every corner of the galaxy, all united by their love for competition. Among them was a human named Max, a spirited young man whose heart raced with anticipation as he stepped onto the Academy's grounds for the very first time. Max had always been captivated by stories of alien cultures, their traditions, and especially their sports. Growing up on Earth, he was an avid athlete, but he yearned for more excitement, more challenge, and above all, more alien friends. As he wandered through the vibrant hallways adorned with holographic banners celebrating past championships, he felt a mix of nerves and exhilaration. Each corner he turned revealed something new. A group of Zarkians practicing their unique form of aerial gymnastics, a Threxian demonstrating his ability to manipulate gravity while shooting hoops, and a pair of Glamorians exchanging playful banter in a language filled with musical tones. Max's thoughts were racing, filled with dreams of what he might achieve in this new environment. However, amidst the colorful chaos, he quickly became disoriented. The hallways twisted and turned like a labyrinth, and the signs written in multiple alien scripts didn't help much. He had just come from an introductory orientation, where the headmaster, an elderly Saurian with a long, flowing beard and sparkling eyes, had warned everyone to stay vigilant and aware. But Max's enthusiasm had overshadowed his common sense. As he walked down a particularly long corridor, his mind was occupied by thoughts of the upcoming tryouts for the Academy's elite sports teams. He pictured himself playing alongside aliens who could defy gravity and others with astonishing physical abilities. This excitement blinded him to the world around him. Suddenly, he spotted a door marked with an unusual symbol, a swirling design that seemed to pulse with light. Without a second thought, he pushed it open, eager to explore what lay inside. The moment he crossed the threshold, the world fell silent. Max stood frozen as he realized he had entered the women's locker room. His eyes widened in shock at the sight of several alien girls, each unique in appearance and personality. Some were tall and elegant, their shimmering skin reflecting the overhead lights, while others were short and vibrant, sporting hair that changed color with their mood. They were in various states of undress, caught mid-conversation or adjusting their athletic gear, and all eyes turned toward Max. A moment of deafening silence hung in the air, broken only by the sound of a heavy metal door sliding shut behind him. Max's heart raced, his mind scrambling for an explanation. He opened his mouth to stammer an apology, but before he could utter a word, a chorus of laughter erupted. "Earthling," called out one of the taller girls, her voice a melodic mix of curiosity and amusement. She had bright, cerulean skin and sparkling eyes that seemed to dance with mischief. "I think you've made a wrong turn. This isn't the Intergalactic Sports Hall." Max's face turned crimson, and he felt a mixture of embarrassment and awkwardness wash over him. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I just got lost." Instead of anger, the girls began to giggle, some shaking their heads in playful disbelief. They exchanged knowing glances, their laughter filling the room with warmth rather than hostility. Max felt the tension in the airshift, replaced by a sense of camaraderie that he hadn't expected. "Come on in then," said another girl who had bright pink hair that swirled like cotton candy. "If you're going to crash our party, you might as well make yourself comfortable." With a mix of trepidation and intrigue, Max stepped further into the locker room, realizing that this might be an opportunity to break the ice rather than a moment of pure humiliation. As he entered, he quickly noted the lively banter among the girls, how they playfully argued over who was the best player from their respective planets, each boasting about their unique abilities. "What's your sport?" one girl asked, a twinkle in her eye. "Do humans even have a competitive edge?" "Oh, well, I'm really good at soccer," Max replied, his confidence slowly returning, "but I'm open to trying anything." "Soccer," another girl echoed, her eyebrows raised. What's that? Do you use your hands? Max laughed, realizing that his embarrassment was fading. No, it's a game played with feet. You kick a ball into a net. But I'd love to learn about your games. I've heard rumors about Zakian aerial gymnastics and Phyrexian gravity ball. The girls leaned in, their interest piqued. The conversation flowed easily as they began to share stories about their home planets, their favorite sports, and the hilarious mishaps they had experienced in their own lives. Max found himself enraptured, captivated by the colorful tales and the vibrant personalities surrounding him. Little did he know that this chance encounter would be the beginning of unexpected friendships that would not only challenge his athletic skills, but also expand his understanding of what it meant to be part of a diverse community. In that moment, amidst laughter and shared stories, Max felt an undeniable connection to these girls and the extraordinary world he had stumbled into. As the conversation continued, he couldn't shake the feeling that this accidental intrusion would lead to far more than he could have ever imagined. And with a warm smile spreading across his face, he realized that sometimes the most beautiful experiences come from the most unexpected mistakes. Feel free to tweak any part of this draft or let me know if you'd like to develop any specific sections further. Bonds beyond the stars. The initial awkwardness of Max's unintentional intrusion melted away as he found himself in the heart of a lively conversation. The girls shared their laughter and stories, each tale more colorful than the last. For Max, this was a revelation. He had stepped into a world beyond his wildest dreams, a place where sports transcended planetary boundaries and camaraderie blossomed in unexpected ways. "Have you ever tried Phyrexian gravity ball?" asked Zara, the girl with cerulean skin, her eyes glimmering with excitement. "It's like a mix between basketball and zero-gravity dodgeball. You have to shoot the ball into a hoop while dodging floating projectiles. It's chaotic but exhilarating." Max's eyes widened at the thought. "That sounds incredible. Do you think I could try out for the team? I mean, I've never experienced zero gravity before, but I'm a quick learner." "Oh, you'd be perfect," chimed in Tally, the girl with vibrant pink hair. "Just remember, if you get hit by a projectile, don't panic. You'll float for a second before you get your bearings. Just aim for the hoop." The girls erupted into laughter, and Max felt a warm flush spread across his cheeks. They began sharing tips and tricks about their favorite sports, and before long, Max was offering insights from Earth, sharing stories about soccer, basketball, and how teamwork played a vital role in any sport. The conversation shifted toward their backgrounds. Max learned that Zara was a Zakian athlete who had once won a prestigious aerial gymnastics competition. "I did a triple backflip and landed right on my feet. The crowd went wild," she exclaimed, her arms animatedly mimicking her impressive routine. Max was captivated, not only by her talent, but by the infectious passion that radiated from her. Tally, on the other hand, shared stories of her home planet's unique sports festivals, where gravity shifts occurred every hour, creating an ever-changing playing field. Imagine trying to score a goal while the ground beneath you is constantly shifting. "It's a mind-bending challenge," she said, her excitement palpable. Speaking of challenges, Zara interjected, a mischievous smile creeping onto her face. "How about a little challenge of our own? We've got some practice mats over here. Why don't we see if you can do a backflip?" Max chuckled, half amused and half terrified. "A backflip? I mean, I've tried before, but I'm no acrobat." "Don't worry," Tally reassured him. "We'll teach you. It's all about the technique. Just trust us." Encouraged by their enthusiasm, Max hesitantly approached the practice mats, feeling a flutter of nerves. The girls gathered around him, their supportive energy wrapping around him like a warm blanket. Zara demonstrated the movement, her body fluid and graceful as she flipped effortlessly in the air. "See? It's just a little kick and a twist," she said, landing perfectly on her feet. With their guidance, Max took a deep breath and attempted his first backflip. He focused on their instructions, channeling his excitement and fear into determination. As he launched himself into the air, he felt a rush of adrenaline. For a brief moment, time seemed to suspend as he spun through the air. But as he landed, thud, he barely stayed upright, toppling forward onto the mat. Laughter erupted around him, and he couldn't help but join in, a broad grin spreading across his face. Okay, that was not how it was supposed to go. Hey, that's a good first try, Zora encouraged, giving him a playful nudge. Just keep practicing. You'll get the hang of it. As they continued to cheer him on, Max felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. It was as if he had known these girls for years, despite the vast differences in their backgrounds. Their laughter and encouragement created a bond that transcended language and culture, weaving their lives together in this unique intergalactic setting. Eventually, the conversation turned more serious, and Max found himself sharing his own experiences growing up on Earth. He talked about the challenges he faced as an aspiring athlete and his dreams of breaking barriers in a world that often felt limited. The girls listened intently, their eyes reflecting understanding and empathy. You know, Tali said thoughtfully, every planet has its own struggles and triumphs. But when we compete, we become part of something larger than ourselves. We learn from one another and grow stronger together. Max nodded, feeling the weight of her words. It's true. I've always believed that sports can unite people, regardless of where they come from. The girls exchanged glances, a sense of unspoken understanding passing between them. Let's make a pact, Zora suggested, her voice firm yet light. We're going to help each other improve and break records together. No matter where we're from, we'll lift each other up and make our mark at this academy. Max felt a surge of inspiration at her words. I'm in. Let's do this. Their newfound camaraderie solidified into a pact, a commitment to support each other as they navigated the challenges ahead. They spent the rest of the afternoon exchanging training tips, sharing food from their respective cultures, and laughing until their sides ached. Each bite Max took of the colorful alien snacks introduced into flavors he had never experienced before, and he found himself savoring every moment. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the windows of the locker room, as they began their drills, Tali and Zara introduced him to various exercises designed to build synergy among teammates. They started with simple passing drills that required quick reflexes and communication. Max felt his heart race as he realized the intensity of the training. It was like a dance, each movement requiring perfect timing and precision. Keep your eyes on the ball, Max. Anticipate where it's going, Zora shouted, tossing a small glowing orb towards him. He lunged forward, just managing to catch it. The sensation was exhilarating, and the girls cheered him on, encouraging him to keep going. They transitioned into more complex drills, including coordinating movements while dodging obstacles that popped up unpredictably. Max felt the adrenaline rush through him as he maneuvered, running and jumping in sync with the girls. They laughed and shouted as they pushed each other to improve, and he felt a sense of belonging that was unlike anything he had ever experienced. As the training session continued, Max noticed his initial self-doubt gradually fading. Every small success, catching a pass, executing a jump, was met with applause and cheers from Zora and Tali, fueling his determination. He began to let go of the fear of failure and focused on the joy of the moment. But as the session progressed, they decided to up the ante. Tali proposed a challenge. Let's set up a mini-tournament. We can form teams and compete against each other. The winner gets to pick the team's celebration dinner. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, and Zara nodded enthusiastically. Count me in, Max replied, his competitive spirit ignited. He loved the idea of a friendly competition, and the thought of a celebration made it all the more appealing. The trio quickly organized the teams. Zara and Tali teamed up, while Max partnered with two other students, a tall, muscular being with green skin named Gresh, and a petite, agile girl with luminous purple hair named Lyra. They introduced themselves and exchanged enthusiastic greetings, instantly creating a sense of camaraderie. As the tournament began, the atmosphere in the gym buzzed with excitement. Other students gathered to watch, forming a crowd that cheered and shouted encouragement. Max could feel the pressure mounting as the stakes of the competition rose. But he also felt a thrill at the idea of showcasing what he had learned. The first round commenced, and the teams faced off in a series of challenges that tested their speed, coordination, and teamwork. Each challenge was designed to highlight their strengths and force them to adapt on the fly. Max felt his heart pound as he participated in a relay race that required him to navigate through a web of glowing laser beams without touching them. "Remember to communicate," Tally shouted as Max dashed through the course. He focused on her words, relaying information to Gresh, who was waiting for his turn at the finish line. The thrill of the competition surged through him, and for a moment, he felt like he was flying. Despite a few stumbles and moments of confusion, their team managed to finish strong, thanks in large part to Max's newfound confidence. Laura's quick reflexes and Gresh's strength complemented Max's growing skills, and together they secured a victory in their first challenge. As they celebrated, Max felt a sense of accomplishment. The cheers from the audience were intoxicating, and he couldn't help but beam with pride. "This is amazing," he exclaimed, high-fiving Lyra and Gresh. The tournament continued, and the girls showed no mercy in their pursuit of victory. With their superior skills and tactical communication, they dominated the next few rounds. But instead of feeling defeated, Max found himself more motivated than ever. He absorbed every lesson they taught him, every strategy they employed, and he was determined to improve. As the tournament progressed, friendships deepened, and laughter echoed through the gym. They shared stories of their home worlds during breaks, each tale more fantastical than the last. Max found himself captivated by the differences and similarities that bound them all together. He learned about the elaborate festivals on Tally's planet, where the sky lit up with colorful lights during the equinox. Zara shared tales of her planet's wildlife, describing creatures that could shift shapes in midair. But the most profound moment came when, after a particularly intense round, Max sat down beside Zara, who was catching her breath. "You know, I never thought I could find such a strong sense of community here," he admitted, his voice reflective. "It's like we're all pushing each other to be better, no matter where we come from." Zara smiled, her expression softening. "That's the beauty of sports and friendship. We're all in this together. It's about more than just winning. It's about building each other up and creating bonds that can last a lifetime." As the tournament came to a close, Max found himself filled with gratitude for this experience. He had stepped into the locker room by accident, yet it had led him to a world of possibilities and friendships that transcended borders and species. Their team did not win the overall tournament, but they celebrated together with laughter and joy, making plans for future training sessions and sharing ideas for their next big challenge. As they gathered for a celebratory dinner, Max looked around the table at the friends he had made. The meal was a fusion of flavors from their home planets, a beautiful representation of their unity. He felt a sense of belonging he had never known before, surrounded by a group of people who accepted him without hesitation. That night, as he lay in his bed, the sounds of laughter still echoing in his mind, Max realized that he had truly found a home among the stars. The bonds they had forged in the locker room and on the training ground were just the beginning of a journey filled with challenges, triumphs, and a friendship that would last a lifetime. Unraveling secrets. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and purple, Max felt an electric buzz of anticipation as he prepared for another day at the academy. The exhilaration from the tournament lingered in his mind, a sweet memory that propelled him forward. He had faced his fears and discovered a supportive community that had welcomed him with open arms. Today, however, promised something different, an exploration of the hidden depths of his new friendships. In the training facility, the atmosphere was alive with activity as students participated in various practices. Max spotted Zara and Tally across the gym, engaged in a sparring session with Gresh and Lyra. Their movements were fluid, almost like a choreographed dance, as they exchanged playful banter in between strikes. Max couldn't help but smile, feeling grateful for the bonds he had formed with them. "Hey, Max," Tally called out, her voice breaking through the sounds of clashing limbs and laughter. "Join us for some warm-up exercises." He jolt over, his heart racing with excitement and curiosity. "What do you have planned today?" he asked, eager to soak in more of their knowledge and camaraderie. "Today's a bit different," Zara said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "We're going to try a new training exercise that focuses on mental agility as well as physical skills. But first, we need to reveal some of our secrets." "Secrets?" Max echoed, raising an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Tally leaned in closer, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "We're going to do something called the Trust Fall. It's a team-building exercise that requires us to share our vulnerabilities and fears." Max felt a surge of apprehension. Trust falls were notoriously intimidating, especially when done in groups. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" he asked, glancing at the other students in the gym who seemed oblivious to the impending activity. "What if someone drops me?" Zara laughed, shaking her head. "That's why we do it as a team. The goal is to build trust, to show that we've got each other's backs. It'll be fun, I promise." Though he was hesitant, Max's curiosity was piqued. He had shared laughter and victories with his friends, but this would be a different level of intimacy. He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, let's do it." They gathered in a circle, the energy shifting from playful to serious as Zara explained the exercise. "Each person will take turns standing in the center of the circle, falling backward, or the rest of us catch them. But before you fall, you have to share something personal, something that scares you or makes you feel vulnerable." Max's stomach fluttered at the thought, but he was determined to embrace the challenge. One by one, the girls shared their secrets, each revelation weaving them closer together. Tally went first. "I have a fear of disappointing my family. They expect so much from me, and sometimes I feel like I can't meet their expectations." As she spoke, a flicker of vulnerability crossed her face, but it was quickly replaced by a confident smile when the group cheered her on. Zara followed, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I worry that I'm not strong enough to carry my team when it really matters. I've seen what happens when people let each other down, and it terrifies me." The weight of her words hung in the air, and Max could see the strength in her resolve as she took her turn to fall. When it was Max's turn, he felt the eyes of his friends on him, the weight of their expectations mingling with his own insecurities. He swallowed hard, searching for the right words. "I guess, I'm afraid that I'll never truly fit in. I've always felt like an outsider, and even here, I sometimes wondered if I'm just a novelty." He took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing heart. "But I want to be part of this team, to belong somewhere." The silence that followed felt heavy, but Zara stepped forward, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You already belong, Max. We chose you as our teammate for a reason." With those words echoing in his mind, he took his place in the center of the circle. The moment felt surreal. He could feel the warmth of their support enveloping him. "Okay, here goes nothing," he said, letting out a nervous laugh. As he fell backward, a mix of fear and exhilaration coursed through him. The moment felt suspended in time until he felt the solid grip of hands catching him. The sensation of safety washed over him, transforming his fear into a wave of relief. He had trusted them, and they had proven their commitment to him. As they continued the exercise, Max began to notice something remarkable: the way the team rallied around one another. It wasn't just about catching each other physically, it was about embracing each other's vulnerabilities, sharing their fears, and building a bond that could withstand any challenge. By the end of the session, they were all laughing, their previous insecurities melting away under the warmth of camaraderie. Feeling invigorated, Max suggested they reward themselves after the training. "How about we celebrate our trust-building exercise with a fun outing? Maybe we could explore the campus together and find something interesting." Zara's eyes lit up. "Great idea. There's a new virtual reality arcade that just opened up down the street. We could challenge each other in different games. Count me in, Tali said, enthusiasm radiating from her. I've heard they have an alien battle simulator. It'll be a blast. As they left the training facility, the air was electric with excitement. The sun had set completely, and the academy glowed with colorful lights, creating a captivating atmosphere. The group chatted animatedly as they made their way to the arcade, each step solidifying the friendships they had nurtured. Once inside the arcade, they were greeted by an array of neon lights and pulsating music. Various virtual reality stations were set up, each offering a unique experience. Lyra, who had been particularly quiet during the trust fall exercise, turned to Max with a playful smile. Let's see if you can handle being a champion in the battle simulator. I'll go easy on you. Max chuckled, accepting the challenge. I'll take my chances. As they donned their VR headsets, the world around them transformed into a vibrant battleground filled with alien landscapes and fantastical creatures. Max felt the rush of adrenaline as they dove into the game, each moment becoming a thrilling competition. Hours passed in a blur of laughter, friendly rivalry, and encouragement. They battled ferocious alien beasts, navigated treacherous terrains, and celebrated victories with high-fives and cheers. Each success further solidified their bond, and Max felt an overwhelming sense of joy. The fear of being an outsider was fading fast, replaced by a deep appreciation for the friends who were standing by his side. As the night wore on, they gathered together, still buzzing with excitement. Zara looked at each of them, her expression serious but warm. Tonight was more than just fun. We're a team, and we've shown we can trust each other. Let's carry this energy forward. Max nodded, feeling a sense of purpose that he had never experienced before. He was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that he had a team that would support him through thick and thin. Walking back to the academy under the starlit sky, Max realized that he had found more than just friends. He had discovered a family among the stars. The weight of isolation had lifted, leaving behind only the exhilaration of connection. They were more than just teammates. They were allies in a journey that would test their limits, forge new paths, and create memories that would last a lifetime. A rift in trust. The next morning, Max awoke to the sound of his alarm blaring like a battle horn, the bright light from his window spilling into his room, chasing away the remnants of sleep. He stretched, feeling the weight of the previous night's adventures still lingering in his bones. The exhilaration from the virtual reality battles had sparked a fire within him, a desire to push his boundaries further, to truly prove himself in this new world. As he prepared for the day, Max couldn't shake the feeling that their bonding experience had deepened something within their group. However, in the back of his mind, he sensed an undercurrent of tension, like a distant storm brewing on the horizon. The trust they had built felt sturdy, yet there was a nagging worry that it could easily be tested. He shook off the thought, determined to focus on the positive. When he arrived at the academy, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement as students chatted animatedly about upcoming events and challenges. Max spotted Zara and Tali at a table, their heads bent close together as they exchanged whispers, laughter spilling into the air around them. He felt a warm rush of affection for them, but also an inexplicable tug of anxiety as he approached. "Hey, what's the plan for today?" Max asked, attempting to inject energy into his voice. Tali looked up, her eyes sparkling. "We're heading to the training grounds to practice our agility drills. It's going to be intense, but we'll have a blast." Zara nodded enthusiastically. "Yeah, and after that, we can brainstorm ideas for the next big team event. I was thinking we could host a tournament." Max's heart soared at the prospect. "That sounds amazing. Count me in." As they made their way to the training grounds, Max's anticipation grew. However, once they arrived, he noticed Lyra standing off to the side, her expression unreadable. The energy shifted slightly, the air thickening with unspoken words. Max felt a pang of concern. Was she feeling left out? "Hey, Lyra," he called, waving her over. "You joining us?" She hesitated before walking over, her hands shoved deep into the pockets of her training uniform. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm up for it today. Max frowned, concerned. What's going on? You were great during the VR battles last night. Lyra's gaze darted between him and the others, her shoulders tense. It's just, I feel like I'm not fitting in. You all seem so close now, and I'm still trying to catch up. Before Max could respond, Zara stepped in, her voice soothing. Lyra, you know you're part of this team. We all have different strengths, and that's what makes us work. If you're feeling off, let's talk about it. Max nodded, wanting to offer support. We're here for you. If there's something bothering you, just tell us. Lyra took a deep breath, her expression softening slightly. I appreciate that, but I've also been feeling a little overshadowed. It's hard when I see how easily you all connect. Sometimes I feel like an outsider. A pang of guilt washed over Max. He hadn't intended for their bonding to exclude anyone. I'm sorry if we made you feel that way. We really want you to feel included. How about we all do some drills together and focus on teamwork today? Let's show how strong we can be as a unit. Lyra's lips curled into a hesitant smile, and Max felt a flicker of hope. Okay, I'd like that. As they started their training, Max threw himself into the drills, trying to ensure everyone felt supported and valued. They practiced agility exercises that required quick reflexes, communication, and teamwork. Each time Lyra excelled, the group cheered, boosting her confidence. But despite the laughter and camaraderie, Max couldn't shake the feeling that the tension was still simmering beneath the surface. Hours passed, and they were all panting, sweaty, and exhilarated by their efforts. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the training grounds. Max felt a deep sense of accomplishment, but just as he thought they were in a good place, he overheard Zara and Tali speaking in hushed tones. What if we take Lyra out of the tournament next week? Tali suggested, her voice barely audible over the ambient noise of the other students. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but we need to focus on our strongest players. Zara's expression shifted, her brows furrowing. But what if we exclude her again? She's been working hard, and she deserves a chance to show what she can do. Max's heart sank. He hadn't heard the entire conversation, but he felt the weight of the unspoken implications. If they were considering sidelining Lyra, all the effort they had put into building trust could unravel. Hey, Max interjected, his voice firm as he approached them. What's this about leaving Lyra out? Both girls looked surprised, and Zara quickly backtracked. Oh, it's nothing, just an idea we were discussing. We want to ensure we have a solid team for the tournament. Tali added, it's not about Lyra personally, it's just strategy, you know. Max crossed his arms, a wave of frustration washing over him. It might be strategy to you, but to Lyra, it could feel like rejection again. We just spent time building trust. Do you really want to tear that down so soon? The tension crackled in the air as the weight of his words sank in. Tali looked away, guilt etched on her face, while Zara's brows knitted in thought. You're right, Zara finally said, her voice steady. We shouldn't rush to decisions like that without discussing it as a team. Max took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. We're a team, and that means including everyone. Lyra deserves a fair shot, just like the rest of us. Tali nodded, remorse reflecting in her eyes. I didn't mean to sound so harsh. I just want to win, but I realize it shouldn't come at the cost of someone else's feelings. Zara sighed, looking at the ground. Let's talk to Lyra then. She deserves to know we value her, and that we're in this together. As they approached Lyra, who had been stretching a few feet away, Max felt a renewed sense of purpose. This was what it meant to be part of a team, not just in victories, but in recognizing and addressing each other's struggles. They could lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. Hey Lyra, Max said, a warmth spreading through him as he smiled. Can we chat for a moment? She looked up, a mix of curiosity and caution in her eyes. Sure. The three of them gathered in a small circle, and Max took the lead. We wanted to talk about the tournament coming up. We've all been working hard, and it's important for us to feel united." Laura's expression shifted, and she nodded slowly. "What's on your mind?" Zara stepped forward, her voice sincere. "We've been discussing the tournament strategy, and we want to ensure everyone feels included. You've been a crucial part of our training, and we don't want you to feel sidelined. We want you to participate fully." Tali added, "Exactly. You've put in so much effort, and we recognize that. This isn't just about winning, it's about being a team." Lyra blinked, her surprise palpable. "Really? I thought maybe I was just slowing you down." "Not at all," Max said earnestly. "You bring skills and perspectives that we need. This team is stronger with you in it." A genuine smile spread across Lyra's face, the weight of her earlier concerns lifting. "Thank you. I appreciate that. I just didn't want to be a burden." "You're not a burden, Lyra," Zara affirmed, a grin breaking through. "We all have different strengths, and that's what makes us a good team. Let's show everyone what we can do together." With renewed determination, the four of them rallied together, a united front ready to face the upcoming challenges. They felt the bond among them strengthen with every shared laugh, every ounce of encouragement. The rift that had threatened to appear was patched, transforming into a tapestry of support and trust. As they wrapped up their training for the day, Max couldn't help but feel that they had not only deepened their connections, but had also learned valuable lessons in empathy and understanding. They were no longer just friends, they were allies in a journey that would test their limits and forge their paths together. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of pink and gold, Max felt an overwhelming sense of hope. They would face the tournament as one, united in their resolve and unwavering in their support for one another. Unforeseen challenges. The day of the tournament arrived with an electric buzz that enveloped the academy like a thick fog. Max could feel the adrenaline coursing through him, heightening his senses and urging him to prepare for the unexpected. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and a hint of nerves as students gathered in the arena, transforming the usual training grounds into a vibrant battlefield filled with teams, banners, and echoes of spirited banter. As Max, Zara, Tali, and Lyra huddled together in a corner, he glanced around, taking in the array of competitors. Each team had its own flair. Some were serious and focused, while others exuded a laid-back vibe that felt almost intimidating. But his focus was on his own team. They had come so far, and now was the time to show everyone what they were made of. "All right, everyone," Zara said, her tone commanding yet warm. "We've trained hard for this, and I know we can do it. Let's remember to have fun and support each other, no matter what." Max nodded, feeling the weight of her words. This was more than just a competition. It was a testament to their growth as individuals and as a team. They were no longer just classmates but friends who had each other's backs, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. The first round of the tournament was a series of obstacle courses designed to test agility, teamwork, and strategy. As the whistle blew, Max found himself charging forward alongside his teammates. They navigated through hurdles, crawled under nets, and leaped over barriers with a sense of fluidity born from hours of practice. Lyra shone in this environment, her movements graceful yet powerful. She led the way through the most challenging obstacles, her determination infectious. "Keep up, everyone. We've got this," she called, her voice a rallying cry that pushed them forward. Max felt a surge of pride watching Lyra excel. She was a key player, and her confidence was infectious. Tali and Zara were equally impressive, their synergy apparent as they worked seamlessly together, strategizing their way through each challenge. They were a well-oiled machine, but Max couldn't shake the feeling that they were still untested. As they crossed the finish line for the first round, panting and exhilarated, they were met with cheers from their peers. The rush of victory washed over them, amplifying the bond they had built over the past few weeks. They were ready for whatever came next. The next challenge involved a simulated rescue mission, where teens had to save a trapped teammate while navigating a maze filled with obstacles. Max felt a rush of excitement at the prospect of teamwork being crucial in this round. "Let's split up into 2 groups," Zara suggested, her eyes sparkling with determination. "Tally and I will handle the left side of the maze, while Max and Lyra take the right. Remember, communication is key." Max nodded, adrenaline pumping through his veins as he and Lyra took off. The maze was a cacophony of obstacles, each corner presenting new challenges that tested their resolve. They encountered swinging pendulums, narrow passages, and unexpected pitfalls. "Watch out for that," Lyra shouted as a pendulum swung towards them. They ducked just in time, laughter erupting between them as they narrowly avoided disaster. As they pressed on, Lyra's laughter became infectious, and Max felt a warmth blossom in his chest. They made a great team. He could see how much she had grown, her confidence radiating with every successful maneuver. They rounded a corner, only to find themselves confronted by a daunting wall, high and imposing. "What do we do?" Max asked, panic creeping into his voice as he surveyed the obstacle. Lyra hesitated, her brow furrowing. "I think we can climb it. If you boost me up, I can reach the top and help pull you up." Max hesitated. "Are you sure?" Lyra nodded, her determination shining bright. "We can't let fear stop us now." With renewed conviction, Max placed his hands on Lyra's waist, lifting her up with all his strength. She climbed the wall with agility, and before he knew it, she was reaching down, her hand extended toward him. "Come on, I'll help you." He grasped her hand, the moment electrifying as she pulled him up. Together, they scrambled over the wall, breathless but exhilarated. The teamwork had strengthened their bond even further. As they reached the next section of the maze, they spotted Tally and Zara working hard to free their trapped teammate. Max and Lyra sprinted over, joining forces to overcome the obstacles in their path. It was exhilarating to witness everyone working together, and they completed the challenge in record time, securing another victory. But as they celebrated, Max couldn't shake the feeling that the real challenge was still ahead. They moved to the next round, a head-to-head competition that would determine the finalists. As they prepared for their final challenge, Max's heart raced with anticipation and apprehension. This was a true test of their abilities as a team, pitting them against another skilled group known for their ruthless tactics. Max could sense the tension building, and it sparked a deep-seated fear within him. "Hey, what's wrong?" Lyra asked, catching his eye. "Just nervous about this next round," he admitted. "We've done so well so far, but I can't help but think, what if we fail?" Lyra stepped closer, her expression softening. "We won't fail. We've worked too hard to let that happen. Remember what we talked about? It's about supporting each other, no matter what." Max nodded, feeling the weight of her words settle in. They had come this far together. They wouldn't let fear dictate their actions. He took a deep breath, rallying his thoughts as they gathered together for a pep talk. The final round began, and the stakes were high. Their opponents were fierce, a well-practiced team that excelled at exploiting weaknesses. As the whistle blew, the arena erupted into chaos, each team racing to gain the upper hand. Max found himself face-to-face with one of the opposing players, his heart racing as they collided. He had trained for moments like this, but the reality was far more intense than any simulation. They grappled, a whirlwind of limbs and determination, and Max felt the strain in his muscles. Just as he thought he had the upper hand, the opposing player used a clever move to throw him off balance. Max stumbled, but quickly regained his footing. Zara and Tally were holding their own, but Lyra had found herself cornered, struggling against 2 opponents. "Lyra!" Max shouted, instinctively rushing to her side. He was met with resistance, but the sight of Lyra's determined face fueled his resolve. "I'm coming." "Max, I can handle it," she called back, but the urgency in her voice told him otherwise. With a burst of adrenaline, he pushed past his opponent and dove into the fray, lending support to Lyra. Together, they fought back against the overwhelming odds, their movements synchronized as they executed well-practiced maneuvers. "Focus, Lyra. We can do this," Max shouted, his heart pounding in rhythm with their frantic movements. They dodged, weaved, and fought as a cohesive unit, driven by the bond they had forged. In that moment, as they fought side by side, Max realized how far they had come. The bond they shared was not just about trust, but about understanding, resilience, and unwavering support. They were more than just a team. They were a family. The battle raged on, and as the final whistle blew, they emerged victorious, their hearts soaring as they embraced one another in celebration. Laughter filled the air, a sound of joy and camaraderie that echoed through the arena. But as the cheers faded, Max noticed Lyra standing to the side, her expression contemplative. He approached her, his heart swelling with pride. "You were incredible out there, Lyra. We wouldn't have made it without you." Lyra smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Thanks, Max. I want to make sure I can keep up with you all. I don't want to be the weak link." Max placed a hand on her shoulder, his gaze steady. "You're not a weak link. You're a crucial part of this team, and we couldn't have done it without you. Never forget that." She looked at him, the weight of his words sinking in. "I won't, I promise." As the sun began to set, casting golden rays over the academy, Max felt a sense of accomplishment and unity. They had not only proven their strength in the tournament, but had forged unbreakable bonds that would carry them through any challenge that lay ahead.